Drawing for the person who dies from suffocation by immersion in water. The near drowning is when the person who survives he at the least pays after a dive accident. Although the term pseudo-drawing has been proposed in our language, we consider it the denomination of semi-drawing or incomplete drawing that clearly indicates the events that occurred and the possibility of later life. And this in turn could be survived into. The dry drawing is a span of the glottis that occurs due a laryngospasm, so that the water does not reach the interior of the bronchial tree, losing consciousness due to hypoxia secondary to apnea. The word drawing is an inspiration of fluid into the lungs after the initial phase of laryngospasm, by subtling of hypoxia and hypercapnia in the center of respiratory tract of inspiration. Drawing with seawater, or that is a hypertonic whose osmolarity in 4 times that of human serums and displaces fluids toward the pulmonary alveoli and bronchs, making it difficult to a gas exchange, leading to death from hypoxia, acidosis, hypovolemia, with hemoconcentration and pulmonary edema. Drawing with fresh water, of which is hypotonic and hyposmotic, and phases rapidly from the alveolus to the bloodstream cause hemodilution due to hypervolemia with hyponatremia and possibly hemolysis, responsible of hyperkalemia. Drawing in swimming pools of which is the same as fresh water with the aggravation of the chlorine, it produces a toxic action on the alveolar wall. Drawing in polluted water, of that presents traditional problems, bacterial contamination and chemistry. Drawing in polluted water, of that presents traditional problems, bacterial contamination and chemistry.
Below are other situations with different names that we can meet. First, pre-drowned wet. There is a deferred risk of respiratory infection by aspiration of microorganisms responsible for pneumonia and bronchopneumonia. Immersion syndrome. It is one that causes death in a sudden way due to cardiac arrest after immersion in cold water, occasionally observed in young adults. It is attributed to a vagal picture triggered by impact of water on the nape of pharynx. Hyperventilation immersion syndrome. It is rare and usually occurs in drivers. Hyperventilation allows to prolong to apnea time and to tolerate PaO2 levels of 35 mm of Hg or less without feeling the compelling need to breathe. Being these PaO2 levels incompatible with normal brain function, feel well-being, euphoria, dizziness, and amnesia from the later part of the immersion, progressing in the most severe cases to loss of consequences, producing a relaxation of the glottis and entry of water into the lungs. Secondary or delayed drawing. It will be that episode of semi-drowning initially recovered and followed at 6 to 24 hours. Severe acute respiratory failure. In any case, the main event after immersion is arterial hypoxemia, which it can be deadly.